He was born without magic powers, but trains hard and becomes the most powerful SS rank hero. Toto is a hero who possesses great skills, but he has one major problem. He is shy and is never able to approach anyone. So when three beautiful girls join his party, his black and white life is filled with colors. But what he doesn't know is that his three beautiful companions are out for his life. How will he survive? Let's find out. It all begins one day when the Demon King feels extra threatened for no reason. He summons his only daughter, Ciel, and gives her the mission to slay one of the many heroes who are after his life. Among all the heroes, one stands out the most, and the Demon King shows Ciel the information of that hero. Ciel assures her dad that she will get the job done and immediately sets out on the mission. But on the inside, she's actually more excited that she will finally get to explore the outside world and starts planning what she would do and what kind of food she'd eat once she gets there. Meanwhile, in the alleys where light doesn't reach, Anemone, a local assassin, gets a hit job from an organization to kill the same hero. But there's a contingency. Anemone must wear a priest outfit while she does it. Anemone refuses the bounty at first, but when the clients increase the reward substantially, she instantly wears the outfit. Somewhere else, Goa is a sadist woman who does gore things to men, and her biggest hobby is to turn the strongest, biggest men into her pets. But recently, she's been getting too bored as none of the men she's encountering are good enough. One of her servants claims to have spotted a perfect pet for her, and that is the same hero the other two girls are after. Speaking of the hero, he approaches three newbie adventurers, emanating his aura, and asks them if they need a strong companion in their team. All of the adventurers there recognize the hero as Toto and start fangirling over him, requesting autographs. Unfortunately, all of this happens inside Toto's head. In reality, Toto never manages to approach anyone without scaring them. He's way too strong, and that is why no one ever wants to get into trouble by getting near him. Toto becomes upset, thinking he's going to have to do a quest all by himself again. But today is his lucky day, as three hot girls approach him at once, asking if they can join his party. They are, of course, the three assassins after Toto's life, who coincidentally approached him at the same time. They don't know each other, but before they can tell one another to stay out of their business, others at the guild approach them, warning them not to get involved with a dangerous guy like him. Goa replies first, stating she belongs solely to the hero, and literally hugs Toto, frying his brain instantly. The hero stops moving. What just happened? Is he dead already? The girls are shocked, but not the others. The regulars here explain that Toto is extremely shy around women and has fainted due to the touch of a woman. Both Goa and Anemone find this information very interesting, but Ciel is the first one to act. Activating her dark magic, she takes control of Toto while he's fainted and flies away with him to dispose of him outside of people's reach. But Goa and Anemone follow her from the ground with the same speed and are kind of glad that Ciel took Toto out of town, as they can use their full power freely. Anemone, whose skill allows her to manifest guns, summons a grenade machine gun and launches several at Ciel, but she manages to shield both herself and Toto using defensive magic. Ciel comes down to deal with Anemone first and secretly activates a summoning circle, but before the two are about to engage, Goa decides to join in as well. In secret, she brings out a concoction that she believes will help her get the upper hand. In the meantime, Ciel asks Anemone what her goal is, and after a verbal exchange, they both realize that they are after the same person's life. Goa steps in, telling both of the girls to talk it out and asking them for a temporary truce. Anemone and Ciel both agree and unsummon their magic. But this is exactly what Goa wanted, as she has used the concoction's perfume to paralyze both of them. Ciel barely manages to speak and tells Goa that she's made a big mistake, because Goa has actually interrupted her summoning circle, and now it has gone completely out of control. A dark spider dragon comes out of the magic circle, and it's going to go on a rampage now that Ciel cannot move. Goa tries to get away, but both Ciel and Anemone stop her, not allowing her to leave without giving them the antidote. The three girls are surely about to die, but Toto, comes out of nowhere and decapitates the dragon with a single punch. Toto's overwhelming strength leaves all three girls completely bewildered, until he turns around with that risless expression, turning them off instantly. The three of them hug Toto for saving their lives, forgetting the fact that this is going to cause Toto to faint again. He's out for the next couple of minutes, but Ciel suggests they let him live today because her magic has run out, and she also mentions that she found him charming in a way. Anemone and Goa also agree, since Toto did save their lives, so they decide to delay the assassination and, in the meantime, make plans to go back to the city to have lunch together. Even though they're acting like they want to be friends, on the inside, they still consider each other foes. Moving on, Toto is back alive, and they're currently having Ciel's favorite dessert. Goa thinks this is the perfect time for all of them to introduce themselves properly. Ciel volunteers, introducing herself as someone who wants to become a maid. Anemone then claims to be a priest who is on a journey to rescue the lost and helpless. Goa introduces herself as a dancer who's just out here for fun. With the girls' introductions coming to an end, Toto wonders what he should say. In his mind, he imagines himself saying something cool, like he's on a mission to defeat the Demon Lord, and that he's going to protect all three of them while doing so. But he just can't get himself to say it. He tries to speak, but his mouth doesn't open, almost as if he's constipated. Still, Goa hugs him for fun's sake and fries his brain out once again. With Toto out cold, the three assassins go back to reintroducing themselves, this time with no lies. Ciel reveals she's on a mission given by her father, the Demon Lord, to hunt Toto. Anemone then reveals she was just handed Toto as her next target. Lastly, Goa expresses her dream to turn Toto into one of her torture pets. Anemone claims she's no longer interested and leaves, saying she'll cancel the task. Not that Anemone intends to let them be, she just has a perfect plan. Why work with others to kill just a man when you can kill him alone and take the pride of it? Hence, escaping from them and finding means to kill him alone is a perfect plan to her. She smiles to herself as she considers the fact that she would take the glory. Then she runs to the rooftop to find him around. She brings out her gun and looks around the city for her target, but she can't find him. While on her search, she finds something else that takes her attention. She sees two slave traders trying to sell a girl. Her dislike? It's slave trading, so she cannot watch and see it happen. She jumps there, throws a grenade to distract them, and carries the girl away. When she gets to the front, she drops the girl, gives her a sum of money, and asks her to run. She knows that the monster trading her is behind her, and she turns to fight. The monster assumes he is strong, but the first hit from Anemone makes him realize she is stronger. He couldn't imagine he would find such a hindrance while trying to trade a slave, but after going head-to-head with her for a minute, he realizes who she is, Anemone, the great assassin whose likes are money and drinks, and who dislikes slave trading. The fight gets severe for Anemone when the monster starts regenerating. As she fights on, Toto comes there and kills the monster with just a hit. She is shocked. She asks him where he came from, and he reminds her he told her earlier that he would do anything to protect them. Well, she didn't expect he would go that far. She doesn't see any reason to continue that conversation, so she throws him a kiss so he can faint again. As he faints, the other two girls come out and laugh at her. They ask her why she didn't kill the monster. Immediately, she targeted the monster, but she reveals if she had killed him in front of the girl, and the girl sees a head flying around her, she will be injured with the scene for the rest of her life. Wow, I have never seen a kind assassin. She reveals that the world is a crazy place, and all she wants to do is earn money and make the world a better place. And for that reason, she will ensure she is the one that kills Toto and takes the money. She forges at him to stab him while he is standing, but her knife breaks just around him. She pretends as if she is just tired and attempts to walk away, but they laugh at her. Ciel advises that since they have the same target, they can all lodge at a hotel. By the time they get there, they find out Goa had booked just one room. Anemone isn't interested in the tussle of who will sleep on the same bed with Toto, so she excuses herself. Ciel doesn't also care about all of that, so she excuses herself too. Before she leaves, Goa makes jokes that she can just kill all of them and leave before morning, but Ciel doesn't care because she knows she is probably the only one who can kill Toto. She excuses herself and Goa sets into action. She doesn't intend to kill Toto. Instead, She wants to make him a slave. She has an injection that if she uses, he will become her subject within 5 minutes. She injects him and goes for her bath. By the time she returns, she sees he still hasn't woken up. She doesn't believe that her injection wouldn't work, so she is sure she has it all under her cover. Since he hasn't woken up, she removes her clothes and dances in front of him nude so she can trigger him to wake up. She sees he isn't shaking at all, so she goes further. She sits on the bed and crosses her legs. She calls him a dog and commands him to come and lick her leg. As though her drug is working, he walks towards her. However, he doesn't bend to lick her legs, but he lays on her and pins her to the bed. The scene entices her. She isn't sure if her drug is working at the moment or if it isn't, but she knows that what he is doing to her is exactly what she wants, and it makes her feel good. When Toto wakes up, he sees her unclad, and he gets scared and faints again, right beside her. The other 2 girls arrive and laugh at her. Anemone insists that Ciel is a kid who doesn't understand what she just saw, but Ciel insists she isn't a kid. Goa wonders if they aren't scared of her because of what she had just done, but they laugh again. For Anemone, if Goa tries anything funny, she will kill her, while Ciel still believes she is the only one that can kill Toto, so they are no competition to her. Anemone cannot let a child speak to her that way, so they argue and bring out their weapons to fight. Goa controls them, begging them not to wake Toto with their fight. Ciel suggests they end the fight in a big girl manner. She goes to her luggage and brings several snacks and games. Anemone laughs at her for taking all of that along every time, and she reveals that she has never had the opportunity to meet friends and play, and that moment is special to her. She realizes it will make them figure they are important to her, so she quickly retracts her words and says it is nothing. Anemone wishes to be convinced to play with her, so she refuses to join the game. When she sees that they are ready to play as a duo and she will be left out, she shamelessly offers to join, and they let her in. Toto wakes up sometime later and wonders what he has been going through. He insists that it is all a dream, and there is no way 3 beautiful ladies will be interested in joining his team. However, by the time he turns to his side, he sees them sleeping there, and he faints again. It is a team of impeccable people, with the ever-dependable hero Toto as the head of the team, Anemone who is dressed as a priest, and she is the one who slays every enemy, Ciel, who is their mage and priest, and Goa, a bad woman that you can never be bored around. This is an interesting team, and I will love to see more of them. Goa wakes up way later than Anemone and Ciel and gets critiqued by the 2 girls who call her lazy. But Goa, seeing that Toto is lying on the ground, states that Toto is lazier than her, not realizing that Toto's actually been knocked out cold because of their existence. Anemone comments that maybe there isn't any need to assassinate this guy, because if this trope keeps going, the shy hero will ultimately lose all his blood from nosebleeds and die naturally. But none of them want to allow that, so they immediately bring out their weapons to be the one to finish the job. Ciel tells both Goa and Anemone to back off, saying she's the one more deserving, because she's the Demon Lord's daughter. Anemone, however, believes she is much more worthy because she holds a 99.99% success rate as an assassin. And lastly, Goa states that as the master of Pleasure Palace, it should be her who takes all the pleasure. As the 3 girls are in a total deadlock, Toto regains consciousness, catching all of them off guard. They together wish the hero a good morning, forgetting that this would be just enough to knock him out once more. Anyway, they postpone their mission for now and get ready for another day of adventure. As they are about to head out, Goa, as usual, is the most excited and noisy among them, causing both Ciel and Anemone to get headaches. They complain about Goa being too noisy in the mornings and get into a playful argument while the shy hero contemplates whether he can survive with these 3 princesses in his team since he's already fainted twice today. Ciel notices how tense he looks and asks him if something's wrong. The other girls express their concerns as well, and seeing how much they look up to him, quite literally, he wants to give it his very best to live up to their expectation. Before going on an adventure, they register at the Adventurers Guild, where the girls make Toto their party leader. Toto, as expected, faints after simply interacting with the guild receptionist. The girls worry for him, and when he regains consciousness, they tell him that now that he's their leader officially, he should start acting like one. The receptionist calls them over, approving them as a party, and now they can officially begin their journey. Before leaving, Goa explains the generic guild quest rules, and since they are newbies, they are currently at rank E and must climb up the ranks to become qualified for any serious missions. Currently, they can only take minor quests like slaying slimes or gathering herbs, but that's too boring, and Ciel wants to get to S rank already, wanting to take some hardcore missions to pass her time. Since there isn't any cheat code to the top, they must work hard and immediately get started. Ciel, at the last second, deliberately hugs Toto and knocks him out, then asks the other girls if they really need to play buddy-buddy and go adventuring together. She reminds them of their goal. And so, the girls get serious once again, but they know they'll end up fighting each other like the previous day, so Anemone suggests a solution. They will each get a day for themselves to assassinate Toto, to which Ciel and Goa agree. To decide who will get the opportunity today, they play a game of rock, paper, scissors. The winner is Ciel, and when Toto wakes up, he finds himself sitting on a bench with Ciel beside the city river. Toto's social anxiety sends him spiraling over what he should say to her. He imagines himself saying something heroic that will impress Ciel, but ends up only asking her where Anemone and Goa have gone. Ciel claims that the two other girls have gone away to look for a proper quest, and she is here to keep an eye on him in the meantime. Toto thanks her, then proceeds to stay silent super awkwardly for the next 10 minutes. Ciel once again tries to make conversation, asking Toto what drove him to become an adventurer. Toto, with zero confidence, states that he became an adventurer thinking he would become confident enough to talk to people one day. Ciel relates to him, recalling her days back in the Demon Lord's castle when she felt like an outcast, even though she is the crown princess. I guess her dad doesn't have enough money to buy her growth hormones like Messi's dad, and that's why she's been outcasted her whole life. Still, she claims to Toto she's brimming with confidence and motivates Toto to do better as well. Toto apologizes for being so useless most of the time, but Ciel tells him that he's good enough as he's protected the three of them multiple times already. Toto's eyes unintentionally look down at her plot, and as a result, he gets knocked out again, disappointing Ciel. Goa and Anemone come back, stating they have taken a spring cave quest from a blacksmith, believing this is going to be a perfect opportunity for Ciel to assassinate the shy hero. However, Anemone thinks Ciel is not up for the task, believing that Ciel has grown attached to Toto. Ciel, in reply, tells Anemone that she has no brain cells for assuming something so absurd, and mocks her. As both of them are about to get into a serious fight, Goa stops them, telling them to just focus on their main goal. Later, Toto and the group head to an E-rank dungeon, and they are here to collect iron ores. Toto, acting like a man, tells the girls that he will be going inside first, and asks them to follow him, as Toto keeps a good amount of distance from the girls inside the cave to keep himself from getting stun-locked. The girls take this opportunity to ask Ciel if she's got another plan to kill Toto. Ciel doesn't want to spoil her plan, so Anemone states her guess that Ciel is going to summon a wyvern or a golem that's going to do the job for her. Ciel says that she's not going to do something so excessive and reveals that she intends to use slimes. As the first slime approaches Toto, both Goa and Anemone wonder if this is some kind of stupid joke since Toto is one of the strongest heroes. But Ciel is certain that her plan is going to work, and just then, many more slimes appear. With dozens of them in sight, Ciel eagerly waits to see how the shy hero is going to perform. The shy hero, clenching his fist, punches the slimes, and, in a matter of seconds, destroys all of them, leaving both Goa and Anemone wondering what Ciel thought was going to happen. Ciel explains her strategy by first pointing out the fact that Toto never used weapons when he fought the slimes and the dragon the previous day, and that means Toto always fights barehanded. Ciel only used the slimes to confirm this theory, and now that she is certain, she states that fighting barehanded will cause Toto to have certain weaknesses. For instance, resistance to physical damage, and Ciel believes that if Toto encounters a way bigger viscous slime, he will become helpless. But since these super slimes don't naturally spawn in an E-ranked dungeon. CL summons one herself, while Toto's not paying attention to them, and then uses her strengthening magic on that slime to make it even stronger. Now, CL, with a smug grin on her face, eagerly awaits to see if Toto's punches will be effective anymore. Toto, to protect the girls from danger, attacks the slime and punches it with full force. But the slime withstands the attack using its elasticity, making Toto realize that slimes this big are resilient to physical damage. Apparently, this slime is the Slime Emperor, and once it's touched, it doesn't let go of its prey. And Toto, who technically touched the slime when punching it, now has his hand completely stuck inside it. CL decides to give Toto a heads up, acting innocent, warning him that this slime digests everything by consuming them in their inside. Hearing that, Toto realizes that he is going to lose his hand if he doesn't take action, so he thinks quick and literally launches the slime above him. He then whirls it around him, using the slime's own weight to gain momentum, and then smacks it against the wall. However, the slime doesn't die, and as its body ricochets, most of its parts get stuck to Toto's hand and lower body, leaving him completely immobile. CL smiles menacingly, thinking she has won, but the shy hero has something else up his sleeve. He starts shouting, "Let me go," repeatedly, and screams the phrase so loudly that the slime is completely vaporized, leaving the three girls stunned. If this guy can kill someone just by using their voice, can they really defeat him? CL finally gives up, and so Goa suggests they now move on to do the actual quest and collect the iron ores they were tasked with. However, after much exploration and mining, they don't find any until Anemone notices some cracks on the walls, leading to an iron vein. Toto steps up to extract the ores and uses his fists instead of a pickaxe, showing how strong he is. After collecting a full bag of iron, they bring it back to the client, who was in the middle of trading the iron with another adventurer. That adventurer only brought 3, so he's completely terrified to see how much Toto has brought here. In any case, the client thanks Toto and his team and encourages him to keep up his good work. On their way back, CL hesitantly asks Toto how he grew this strong, and Toto awkwardly replies that he just lifted weights relentlessly his entire life, meaning all of this came with hard work. The adventurer who got terrified earlier comes there, wanting to shoot his shot with the 3 girls, asking them to join him instead of a shy loser like Toto, promising that he will take good care of them. The girls, however, aren't interested at all, and they, in unison, give a death stare to the guy, making him piss his pants and run away for his life. The girls then turn to Toto, telling him not to be demotivated, and Toto, in reply, vows to do his best not to disappoint them. As they arrive at the town of Dosa, Goa whispers in Anemone's ear, asking her whose turn it will be to assassinate Toto now that CL has failed. Anemone wants to be the next one to do it, but Goa doesn't agree, since the 3 of them agreed to play rock, paper, scissors to determine whose turn it's going to be. Deciding to play by the rules, the girls engage in another never-ending game of rock, paper, scissors, while Toto wonders what's gotten into them suddenly. Goa comes out as the winner, and so CL and Anemone leave the 2 be, making the excuse that they have some stuff to do. Toto hesitates to walk alone with a hottie like Goa, and she teases him because of it, hugging him with her melons and asking if he doesn't like being alone with her. Normally, Toto's system would get completely fried, but it seems he's developed some resistance over time. He's still as shy as ever, and so it takes him forever to tell her that he does like spending time with her. In any case, Goa wants to have lunch together with Toto, and Toto, being delusional as ever, thinks that she wants to go on a date with him. This turns out to be true, as Goa embraces him, telling him that this is indeed going to be a date, and that does the job, knocking out the shy hero unconscious instantly. Once Toto regains consciousness, Goa brings him to a local bar and serves him a drink mixed with one of her sussy concoctions. As Toto drinks up, Goa eagerly waits for the effects to work on Toto, but it doesn't for some reason. As she stares eagerly right into his soul, Toto assumes that she wants him to say something since they are on a date. Toto, as usual, first imagines himself saying something charming and heroic that will make her completely fall in love with him, but of course, he fails. as he makes the expression that makes him look like he's constipated. Goa thinks that her concoction is finally working, but it's just the shy hero being awkward as usual. She can't believe her drug didn't work on Toto, but she doesn't give up yet and gives Toto some grilled meat to eat that's been mixed with drugs that can fry a person's brain with feelings of detachment and paranoia. However, just like before, the drug doesn't work on the seemingly immune shy hero. Goa then feeds him a sandwich that has a drug inside that can send anyone into a coma for at least a week, but just like before, Toto feels nothing, and so Goa accepts her defeat, learning a new fact. Toto is immune to all sorts of status effects. Goa's goal technically isn't to kill Toto, but to make him fall for her, so that she can turn him into her pet. But at this rate, she thinks she is never going to succeed at it. Toto approaches her with some tea, and Goa, desperate, asks him directly if he loves her. Toto almost faints hearing this question, but manages to stay awake and asks Goa why she's asking him something like that. Goa uses her authority, ordering Toto to become her dog, but it doesn't work on Toto, and he tells her that he cannot do something like that. This leaves Goa completely heartbroken, and as her tears drop on her melons, a rather important detail, she realizes how cruel she is. So she requests Toto not to hate her. Toto clarifies, stating that he does want to become her dog, but if he does so, he will no longer be able to protect her. He bites his own hand to turn into a titan? Kidding. It's to stop himself from fainting. And then he tells Goa how much she and the two other girls mean to him, much more than his own life. His bold determination makes Goa happy again, and as she thanks him, calling him her dear hero, he finally reaches his limit and gets knocked out completely. Later, when Toto wakes up, he finds Goa standing before him, and she tells him that they should now go meet up with Ciel and Anemone. Toto notices that there's a flower on top of a bandage where he bit his hand, and Goa explains that this was her little thank you gift for hearing her out. Bro obviously faints again, and when he wakes up, it's almost 7 p.m. They meet up with Ciel and Anemone, and while Ciel takes Toto away to eat some dessert, Anemone stays behind and asks Goa if she failed as well. Goa explains that even though she has failed, she had fun and wants to continue having fun with her shy hero. As she then joins back with Toto, holds his hand, and asks him to share a room with her later tonight. Ciel wonders if Goa went on an actual date with Toto instead of trying to kill him. In any case, the next day, it's Anemone's turn, and this time, Goa proposes that they stick to this order of Ciel, Goa, then Anemone, so that the assassination game stays fair. Anemone agrees with anything because she's certain she's going to put an end to this game today by killing Toto. Ciel doesn't think that's going to happen, so she walks away, deciding to prepare for her turn, which will come the next day. Goa, on the other hand, who knows her concoctions aren't going to work on Toto, seems to have given up on the assassination idea, so she decides to tag along with Ciel and see for herself what Ciel is going to do. Anemone brings Toto to a forest alone on a herb collection quest, making the excuse that Ciel and Goa will stay back at the inn to rest because they have stomach pain. As they reach deep inside the forest, both wonder what they should say as they've been awkwardly walking for the past half hour in silence. Anemone is bad at making small talk, while Toto is nervous because he's never been alone with her, so neither of them knows what to say. While Anemone and Toto are having an awkward day, Ciel and Goa are having a hell of a day. Being the sweet tooth that she is, Ciel loves the food Goa has taken her to get, and she eats it happily. She appreciates Goa for plugging her to that spot, but doesn't forget Goa's love for charms and spells, so she tells her that she's using a magic that repels charms. If Goa thinks she will get her, then she's a liar. Goa defends herself, saying she isn't fetish, she just loves charms. They talk and laugh until a strange man approaches, asking why they're still talking. United, they tell him to fuck off, insisting they aren't a nuisance and are just talking. The man wonders if they don't understand the situation. He tries to caution them again, but they don't reply. Meanwhile, Anemone keeps thinking about what conversation to have with Toto. She's bored and wishes she could get high, but because she's pretending to be a priest, she can't do that. He asks her what she likes, and she says booze and money. He's shocked, so she immediately retracts her words and pretends like she didn't mean it. Needing to cover the awkward moment, she asks what he likes too. He says lifting weights, a hobby she considers petty. Back at the restaurant, the man keeps pestering the girls, but they don't care. He finally points to the back and shows them that robbers are actively robbing the place. Still, the girls remain unfazed. The awkward conversation continues. Anemone finds the silence uncomfortable and decides to get to the point. She asks Toto how he got the scar on his face, a question that throws him off and makes him uncomfortable. Back at the restaurant, the head of the thieves, Zach, storms in and accuses the girls of being disrespectful, asking if they know who he is. He brags about being a former B-ranked adventurer. Goa laughs off his so-called ability, and Ciel asks if being B-rank is even impressive. Goa explains it's like being in the top 100 out of 1,000, not that great. The girls laugh it off, but Zach gets angry and tries to attack Ciel. Her magic dispels his attack easily. She turns to him, asking if he even knows who he's trying to fight. He doesn't back down and jumps at her again, but this time both girls jump him together and land a hit. Ciel wants to finish the fight alone, but Goa reminds her Zach will have a bounty on his head, so she advises her to take him alive instead. Back on the date, Anemone realizes the question made him uncomfortable and wants to withdraw it, but he answers anyway. He says the scar came from a monster attack. He lost everything to monsters. His family, his home, even his confidence. He had his bad times too. Anemone is shocked by all he's gone through and asks if he wants revenge, but he says no. He just wants to regain his confidence and prove that he's worth something, that surviving wasn't a mistake. She agrees he's right. They arrive at their destination. Toto jumps to pick the herbs they came for, and Anemone watches him with pity. She didn't know he'd gone through that much despite also coming from nothing. But despite how pitiable his story is, her mission comes first. He still has to die. She walks up to him and breathes on his neck so he'll faint and she can do her job. Back at the restaurant, Zach finally realizes Ciel's magic is out of his league. Even as a former B-rank adventurer, he's never seen magic like that. He turns to his crew for help, but they're now under Goa's influence and are tending to her needs. Ciel strikes Zach with a hammer spell, and he collapses immediately. She's disappointed. He talked big but wasn't strong at all. To calm her down, Goa offers her sweets as usual. In the forest, Anemone brings out a bomb she grew herself. It's powerful enough to blow up anything, and it grows depending on where it's placed. She plants it on Toto and watches it expand, curious how big it will get. Back at the restaurant, the owners thank Ciel and Goa. Not that they did it for them, but still, Goa suggests handing over the bandits to the authorities to collect the bounty and repair the restaurant damages. The owners appreciate the help and offer the girls dinner. That's all fine for Ciel, but she reminds Goa that Toto must never know their true strength. She asks Goa to use her drugs to wipe the waiter's memories. Goa does just that, and they leave without the staff recognizing them. Ciel finally sees the value of Goa's herbs. Despite her own power, she can't alter memories. She asks to learn herb making, and Goa takes her to a forest to teach her. Clumsy Ciel mixes the wrong herbs and creates poison. Meanwhile, the bomb Anemone planted keeps growing, so much so that if it explodes, it'll consume her too. She panics and cuts it off Toto's body so he'll wake up. She yells for him to throw it far away. He does, and the bomb explodes on a mountain. At the same time, the poisonous herb Ciel made explodes nearby. The explosion is intense. Toto gets burned shielding Anemone, and she shocked his body withstood it. Without him, she would have died. She sighs in relief, grateful he saved her, but he faints again. Toto realizes the herbs they gathered were destroyed, so he goes to find more. He wonders what happened. On their way back, Anemone lies that a monster had placed the bomb on him and escaped. He apologizes for not being there for her. They expect the girls to be shocked by his condition, but when they see the girls, they're burned too. Ciel complains that she's done with herb lessons, but Goa persistently convinces her otherwise. Let's see if she gives in. For their next adventure, they're heading to the dungeon. Ciel isn't worried about the dungeon itself. What bothers her is that there's a food spot nearby she'd rather visit. Too bad they chose the dungeon instead. The shy hero and his 3 beautiful companions are out once again for some adventuring. They go out hunting goblins, and Toto, acting confidently, defeats all of them with ease. To help Toto, Anemone uses her strengthening magic, while Goa entices the goblins using her spray potions. Although it's overkill, Ciel makes her move, blasts the goblins with her attack spells, and only then does Toto finish the job with a devastating punch. Upon completing the quest, they return to the Adventurers Guild, where the guild receptionist thanks them for their service. Before handing them their commission rewards, the receptionist mentions to Toto that because of his party's accomplishments, they have been selected for promotion and must complete a D rank quest to move from E to D rank. Anemone does the talking and asks the receptionist what kind of quest it's going to be, and the receptionist tells them that they will have to clear a dungeon. The receptionist also mentions that in this quest, their bond as a party will be put to the test, which shocks everyone as they have no synergy at all. Still, the shy hero and his companions head to the dungeon gate, where they are greeted by the gate guard, who informs them that they must reach the bottom floor of the dungeon and bring back something from there as proof that they have cleared it. Toto heads inside first, and the three girls wonder if they should use this as an opportunity to continue their assassination attempt on the shy hero. It's revealed that, just before the quest, the three assassins had gathered at a local restaurant in secret and discussed whose turn it would be today. Anemone didn't want to play by the rules, deciding in secret to blow the entire dungeon up to unalive Toto, along with the two other girls. Both Ciel and Goa know exactly what Anemone is thinking, and they too decide that if push comes to shove, they will betray each other. So they try to pretend they are calling a truce and will do the guild promotion quest peacefully, when actually all three of them have decided to kill Toto that day. Back in the present, the group comes across a door in the dungeon that has a crest beside it, stating that the room ahead is the Room of Sacrifice and will be the first trial for them. To unlock this room, the party needs to offer their magic and stamina. Reading it, Goa assumes that a mage and an attacker need to work together to do so. Since Ciel is a mage, she places her hand inside the demon head statue, and it drains her energy. Next, Toto places his hand, and it consumes his stamina. With the conditions fulfilled, the door opens. Once they enter the dungeon trial room, Toto can't help but wonder how weak he's suddenly become, realizing that the door must have drained most of his stamina. He wonders if Ciel lost a lot of her magic power as well, but in Ciel's case, she reveals to us with a menacing grin that she was the one who placed another spell inside the statue's mouth that caused Toto to lose most of his stamina. She thinks this is the perfect time to attack, now that Toto is feeling weak, but Anemone ruins her plan, healing Toto just as Ciel is about to attack him. Anemone, of course, did so to prevent Ciel from getting ahead, and Goa whispers to Ciel that she's being too obvious, emanating her bloodlust. Goa also reminds Ciel that they called a truce and are not supposed to attack Toto today, so if she tries to attack him again, they will get in her way. Anemone, from a distance, sticks her tongue out at Ciel and mocks her, causing her to become angry. But just as Toto turns around to see what the fuss is about, they act like they are just playing. Shortly after, they enter a hallway that is in flames, the second trial room, called the Room of Raging Fire. The task to clear this room is to get to the other side, and Toto wonders how he is going to cross this blazing fire without getting hurt. Anemone, on the other hand, sneakily plans to plant a bomb somewhere, as the fire can double her bomb's strength. So, she tells the group that she needs to go somewhere to apply some makeup, but Ciel sees through her deception and immediately blows away all of the fire using her wind magic, completely ruining her plans. Now that this trial is over, they head to the next trial room, called the Room of Frenzy. To clear this room, they must eliminate all of the monsters inside, which are hidden in the dense miasma. Toto heads in first, followed by the others, but Goa stays behind and opens up the cap of one of her hallucination drugs. She knows that Toto is immune to all status effects, but still believes that her drug will work on at least the two girls so that they can't interfere with her plans. However, the girls remain unaffected because Ciel has been guarding herself with a protection spell, while Anemone reveals that she's developed immunity to these effects over time due to Goa's constant use of the drugs. Toto, in the meantime, finds the exit door, ruining Goa's assassination attempt as well. The three girls grow frustrated as each of them keeps getting in the way of the others, so they decide to take each other out first before targeting Toto. Once they enter the next room, it leads to three other rooms. Anemone sees the first door, which says it leads to the room of treasure, and being obsessed with treasure, she asks Toto to come with her. Nobody agrees to go to that room though, and Ciel suggests they enter the room of glory instead. However, Goa doesn't care about either treasure or glory. She tells Toto to come with her to the room of pleasure, wanting to feel kimochi together. Toto, finding himself in a dilemma where he must choose only one of them, finally realizes that this is the final trial that will test their party's bond. As he remains deadlocked, the girls suggest they fight each other, and the winner will get to choose which room they enter. Toto wants to stop the girls, but he's terrible at communicating, so he wonders how he is going to resolve this matter. That's when he recalls the guard saying they must reach the bottom floor of the dungeon to clear it. Since none of the doors leads downstairs, he realizes that the bottom floor must be below them, so he punches the ground beneath their feet. Hitting the ground was a great attempt from Toto. They all fall into the last floor, which is the exact purpose of their mission. The girls wonder what is happening and how that happened, and before they can fully examine the entire situation, an older man comes out and speaks to them. He congratulates them for finding their way and ensuring they got to the last floor, also commending them for not taking the wrong door. The older man is Lightning Leg B, and he is their final fight. To win, they have to strike him, and he will give them the evidence they want. The girls turn to Toto to know if he had done that intentionally, and Toto, who is still stuck inside the trees on the ground floor, struggles to get himself out. He admits that he got concerned seeing the way the girls were fighting, and he didn't want them to have a disagreement. They call him a fool, but Mr. Lightning Leg B doesn't even give them an opportunity to bond. He keeps talking, and when he comments that they are all pretty girls, and Toto is lucky to have them together in that place, the girls lose it. Each of them brags that she wants the honor of killing him herself. However, Toto has felt useless throughout the entire fight. He offers to fight the older man himself so they can see he would protect them. They sit back and watch him as he fights, while the older man thinks Toto is just stupid for believing he can defeat him alone. The older man has speed. He runs and attacks Toto so swiftly that his body can't even be seen in the wind surrounding him. But Toto is smart enough to grab his leg during one of those attacks. They go head to head for a minute, and the girls realize that the man is actually on par with them in battle. Goa has a suggestion and whispers it to the others, and they all agree to her idea. They stand up and offer to help Toto in the fight. I really wonder what those kids are planning. They claim they don't want him to take the honor alone, so each of them wields her power against the older man, and they cast a reinforcement magic spell. Toto is glad they've helped him. As the man attempts to strike Toto, Toto kicks him, and the man falls. Their evidence drops from the top of the room, and they find themselves at the door of the dungeon for their new party card. They've been promoted to a D-ranked party, but the girls don't care. Instead, they brag about the fact that they've shown everyone that they bond well and can win together. Toto reveals that at a point in the dungeon, specifically when they were all arguing about which door to take, he got concerned that they were no longer united. He was scared they'd lose their bond. The girls hypocritically hug themselves, claiming they were only under a spell, and sincerely, they like each other and will do anything to bond well. This makes Toto feel better. To reassure him even more, they continue their trip holding hands and pretending. When they reach the middle of the road, they get tired of pretending and begin to fight again. They all accuse each other of jeopardizing their plans to kill Toto in the dungeon, but they also remember their earlier decision not to fight or kill in that place. Before the argument escalates, Toto's stomach growls from hunger, which calls their attention back. He is hungry, and Goa suggests they could use the opportunity to celebrate their new promotion. So they decide to go out. They arrive at the restaurant and toast to their new bond. Not that the bond really exists. Toto quickly gulps his drink down, and Goa can't help but notice that he's a good drinker. She compliments him for his drinking skills, but he knows he's just drinking a lot to avoid fainting, not that he won't eventually faint. For the next hour, all of them drink happily, except Ciel, who doesn't think she's safe enough with them to drink that much. After an hour, Toto has fainted, and Goa is enjoying her time touching and playing with him. Anemone also gets a little tipsy, so she holds Ciel and admits that she's never been lucky enough to have a sister, and she likes being with Ciel. Ciel, who isn't drunk, warns Anemone to leave her alone. They try to convince her to drink, but she refuses. Goa knows the best way to get to her is by offering something she'd like, so she orders another drink for her. Ciel lets her guard down and drinks happily. Within the next hour, she joins them and becomes drunk. She jumps all over the fainted Toto and starts calling Anemone her big sister. When Goa sees that they are all drunk, she tries to get them to fight, but she quickly realizes they aren't too drunk to fight. They can still fight. She immediately retracts her words and starts talking about how she enjoys being with them without charms. She says she's never had friends without the influence of charms and drugs. Anemone also admits that they're the first set of people she's gone out for drinks with. She only ever drinks with people she works for, since she's an assassin. They look to Ciel to hear her story too, and she admits they're her only friends. As the precious daughter of the Demon Lord, she was pampered and never allowed to make friends. They change the topic and start talking about how much they love Toto. Goa insists she knows they're in love with him, and Anemone falls into her trap by admitting it. After a long time catching up, it's time to leave. They wake Toto up, and he's disappointed that he fainted again. They ask him for a closing speech, and he reiterates that although he may faint a lot, he will always protect them. They return to their lodge, and everyone goes to sleep, except Ciel, who knows she has a visitor. She calls out to the visitor from the Demon Lord, and the Demon Lord's guard, Happy Cunere, comes to her. What is the guard here for?
Seeing Hoppy doesn't bring great memories to Ciel. She knows Hoppy, knows how good of an instructor she is, and how fierce she is. It is certainly not a pleasant surprise. She recalls when she had to train with Hoppy growing up, and how she would lose all her fights, even with all her attempts. How the spectators would watch her and comment that she wouldn't have won the fight no matter what she did, and even how Hoppy would unclip her wings to fight. That surprise definitely has a reason. She calls out for Hoppy, who is shocked that she could notice her presence. Hoppy comes down from the window and greets her, claiming she has missed her. Ciel isn't taking the greetings as they should be, so she reminds her it hasn't been a long while since she left the kingdom. Hoppy is the instructor from the Demon Lord. She knows how much Hoppy doted on her as a child, so she claims she didn't miss Hoppy at all. Hoppy expected that. She isn't fazed at all. She smiles and reminds Ciel that she has been away for a whole month, and it is enough time for the kingdom to feel her absence. She comments that she is sure Ciel isn't interested in returning to the kingdom, and wonders if Ciel hated training with her that much that she doesn't miss her. Ciel is tired of the back and forth, so she asks Hoppy to go straight to why she visited. Hoppy reveals she is there to take her back. If it is taking Ciel that long to kill the hero, then it means Ciel isn't ripe enough to be sent out on projects by herself, so she has 24 hours to return home with Ciel. Ciel feels heartbroken. It would mean everyone would be right that she was unnecessarily babied. Hoppy gives her 24 hours to kill Toto, else she will take her back. Hoppy leaves, and Ciel considers her option. 24 hours is enough to kill Toto, and she has her plan. To be fair, she hasn't been dwelling on the mission because she is enjoying her first time out of home, and now that it is of importance, she will ensure she does it immediately. The following day, the girls wake up and come for breakfast. Anemone comes out half-dressed and Toto faints just by seeing her. Goa teases her that she intentionally made Toto faint, and she wonders why he fainted seeing her since Goa is always half-dressed too. Goa teases her again, reminding her that she is always half-dressed, but Anemone is also dressed like a priest, so it was surprising to see her half-dressed. The back and forth continues, but Ciel doesn't interfere. Goa notices she is different and asks what is wrong. She looks at them with no care and reminds them that she knows they had a good time the day before, but she wants to remind them that that their good time is a different issue and they are still enemies. Her mission is to kill Toto, and she will kill them alongside Toto if she needs to. Anemone calls her a small fry because she knows there is barely anything she can do. By the time they are done with their conversation, Toto wakes. They ask him what they should do for the day, but he doesn't know. However, since they are now D-ranked adventurers, they should take tasks. Goa suggests that they shouldn't go for baby tasks and instead take tasks like clearing dungeons and killing monsters. That is fine for Toto, who doesn't know they have plans to kill him. Goa continues by rushing to hug Anemone, claiming that she and Anemone have some shopping to do that day and they won't be available. Anemone seems shocked by this discovery since they didn't have any prior conversations about it. Goa teases that she can't remain half-dressed every time and they should go get better clothes. She winks at Anemone, who understands her and decides to leave with her. She says that Ciel and Toto should take the task for the day while they are away. That is like a table set before Ciel to kill Toto. She wonders why Goa would do her that kind of favor. Feeling suspicious, she asks Goa if she is giving her an opportunity to kill Toto, and Goa says yes, reminding her that they are both friends and enemies and there is nothing to lose. Bragging about her ability, Ciel tells them that she will call them when she has Toto's corpse so they can see. Let's see how far she can go. Well, she takes Toto to a dungeon so they can clear it. It is a rank D dungeon, and she tells Toto that the dungeon only consists of rats and they have a place in it, so the task should be easy. They enter the dungeon and one of the rats jumps at them. Toto kicks the rat and hits it on the wall. Then Ciel informs him that when they enter the dungeon, they will meet others like that. She recalls that during her fight at the dungeon yesterday, she found out that Toto has great resilient strength and it would be very difficult to inflict physical injury on him, which is why she had brought him to that dungeon. At that moment, Toto steps on a trap. The trap releases a wall with spikes on his head, but he holds it off. He pushes it back and confirms that Ciel isn't hurt. Ciel realizes that it may also be difficult for her to inflict physical hurt despite the dungeon having a lot of traps. She takes him to a place and shows him a totem. She tells him that just like their task the day before, he has to activate the totem by touching it so they can gain entrance to the rats. She knows that the totem sucks strength to about 70%, but she tells him she wants to use magic to check it first. Instead of checking it, she increases the level of strength the totem will take to about 90%. Then she tells Toto to touch and activate it. She informs him prior that it will take his energy, but he is just excited about getting to impress her. He activates it and indeed feels shaky. She asks him how he feels, and he admits that something has left him. However, he believes he can remain strong and protect her. The door opens just as she predicted, so he walks in front of her so he can get to the death rats and kill them. As she follows him, she gets a feeling that they are being watched. She is quite right, because Hoppy is behind them and is watching to see what Ciel will do. Ciel recalls her conversation with Hoppy the night before, where Hoppy asked if she dreaded training with her. It wasn't a big deal training with her for Ciel, no matter how Hoppy made her feel like she wasn't good enough and how rigorous the training was. She remained strong because she just wanted to leave that place. This day is her opportunity not to return, so she won't let it go. She calls Toto's attention and teases him with her body, so he faints. At that moment, she recalls all she had to go through from her fellow demons, how they insulted her, told her she was only in the Demon Lord competition because of her father, called her defective, told her she was good for nothing and only pretending to be reading even when she wasn't learning anything. She had grown up hearing all of these, and she can't return to them again. She activates her Demon Lord power and brings out her weapon. She closes her eyes to the memories she had with Toto and throws the sword at him. And for the first time, she is able to physically injure Toto. She is glad she could do that, and figures if she achieves that a second time, she will be able to kill him. As she sets out for the second attack, she sees Anemone and Goa's faces, how they played together. She closes her eyes to that and attacks, but changes her mind and hits the death rats instead. Toto wakes up and sees the injury on him. She lies that it was the death rats and offers to cast healing magic on him. As she does that, he feels bad that he couldn't protect her, while she also wonders why she didn't kill him despite having the opportunity, and also why she had seen the girl's faces in that dire moment. Suddenly, Toto holds his fist for an attack. She is scared, wondering if he has figured out who attacked him, but she is wrong. He just wants to fight the death rats. They are surrounded by death rats, so they both fight and successfully return home to Anemone and Goa, who are actually waiting for them. When they see the sign of injury on Toto's body, they are shocked. Goa immediately goes to help Toto remove possible poisons from the injury, but Anemone drags CL aside, wondering what had actually happened. Anemone is more shocked because it is obvious that CL had an advantage against Toto, and if she had made use of it instead of helping Toto, he would have died. She asks her why she didn't do anything, and CL admits that it was harder in ways more than one. Anemone teases her that the sugar she has been eating has been destroying her stamina, and she is no longer as strong as she used to be. She taps her head, which irritates CL, but she shockingly likes it. Goa finishes sanitizing Toto and calls Anemone for healing magic, but the priest refuses to come through. After a long day for CL, she is left with no other choice than to meet with Hoppy, this time for her judgment. Hoppy admits that she watched the entire thing that afternoon and saw that CL had an opportunity to kill Toto, but flickered in her choice. She reminds her that what she did could be interpreted as treason against their kingdom and asks her to defend herself, but she has no defense. CL admits that she did wrong. She couldn't control her emotions, and she indeed flickered. She accepts to be taken back to the kingdom, thinking that maybe if she experiences those traumatizing trainings again, she will return to being the emotionless person she was and would be able to make better decisions next time. Her offer shocks Hoppy, who knew how much she hated the kingdom. She reveals that her mission wasn't just to take CL back, but to confirm if CL was fit. The thought process which led to CL getting her access to kill Toto was a great one. The fact that CL could also use her healing power to heal Toto also showed she had grown in her demon power. The ability to make decisions that are smart are keys that show she is capable of staying independent, and as a result, she is commanding that CL remains there and gets her mission completed. CL is glad. Hoppy further comments that she saw CL's interaction with the other girls, and it makes her feel good. She also comments that she thinks CL is in love with Toto, and that she fantasizes about a forbidden love, but CL screams at her, telling her that it is impossible. Hoppy flies away, smiling happily that CL now has friends. She recalls how she had always advised CL that making friends and being friendly is one of the traits of a demon lord, and that she has to be friendly, but CL would always refuse, wondering if those people who gossip behind her back are also good selections for the position. CL kept to herself, always in the kingdom, and she only smiled with people she was close with, so seeing her in that way makes Hoppy happy. The following day, Anemone comes out looking great, and Toto faints again. Goa teases her, and this time, CL interferes and says that Anemone doesn't look that good, and Toto is just weak. They both look at her, happy that she is cheerful that day. She wonders if the difference in her mood was so obvious the day before, and they tell her yes, even telling her that Toto noticed her mood the day before and even asked Goa about it. Goa reminds her they are both rivals and friends, so if she has any issue, she should tell them. Goa wakes Toto up with the information that CL is fine, and they think of what they should do that day. Goa suggests that they go for a trip. She says they will be camping together, and hearing that almost makes Toto faint, but he controls it. Goa needs time to speak with the girls, so she taps him to faint, and they all laugh about it.
If there is someone that is quite excited about this excursion, it is none other than Goa. She wakes that morning with joy all over her face, and the others look at her in awe, wondering why a trip is getting her that excited. She knows they are also excited, just that they won't show it. Toto wonders if they do not need to go shopping to get the things they need, but Goa tells them she has that covered. She reveals a bag containing a tent, bags, and other necessities for the trip. She admits the bag is very heavy, but trusts Toto to help by carrying it. Before she could say jack, Toto carries the bag and gets ready for the journey. They ask her what their destination is, and she informs them they will be stopping by at Blackwater Annie, a place that is not so far or near, making it easier to get to their destination faster. Hearing this, CL lets out her excitement too. Goa watches her in joy, happy that she is unwinding for the trip. Anemone has one more concern. Going on that kind of trip is not just time-consuming, but money-consuming too. She understands it is an excursion, but wonders if they have a target for it. Wow, there is someone quite smart in the trio. Well, she is right, and Goa has that covered too. She has taken a quest to deliver a box on the trip. Because the box is quite heavy, every adventurer had refused the quest, so the pay was high and they have something to gain. Again, Toto carries the box, and they proceed on their journey, unknown to them that someone is staring at them from the woods. As they walk, Ciel warns Toto to be careful throughout the journey and avoid fainting. She reveals that anytime he faints, she is the one carrying him with her magic powers. And now that he is carrying 2 heavy loads, that would be too much for her mana. He apologizes for being a worry and insists he will be careful. To test him, she jumps around, revealing the inside of her gown, and as expected, he faints. The girls tease her, saying she failed, so she has to carry Toto and the loads. She chases them with Toto as revenge. The following day, Toto wakes up. They complain that they had a slow journey the first day and have to walk faster today. Toto apologizes, saying he was the one who made the journey slow, but Ciel, who knew she caused it, tells him not to apologize. As they discuss, Anemone feels down because she needs to take a cigarette. Toto notices her and assumes she is tired, so they should rest, but she says no. She wonders if she could take a restroom break so she can take what she wants, but also wonders if it is too early. Ciel figures out what she wants and mentions it, one person down for her. Since all she has to do is make Toto black out, she touches him and he faints so she can get her smoke break. The others scream at her for delaying their journey, but what can they do? After the smoke break, Toto wakes up and they sit for rest. Goa complains that their journey has been moving at a very slow pace, and Toto, assuming he is the cause, apologizes, but it isn't to worry. Ciel makes marshmallows, and shockingly, they taste great. Excitedly, she screams at Toto and Ciel to take a bite, and Anemone looks at her, wondering why she is that happy. They all take bites of the meal, laughing about how great it tastes. Goa watches them, seeing how happy they are, wondering when they will finish the excursion, but she doesn't think the time frame matters as long as they are having fun. That night, she stands to keep watch while the girls sleep happily inside, and Toto sleeps outside the tent. She is glad they are fine, but that joy disappears when the bandit who had been watching them earlier comes to attack her. She happily screams that she has seen a bandit, which excites the bandit as to why she is so happy. The bandit asks for the box she is carrying, and she asks what would happen if she doesn't give it to him. He says he will sell them to kidnappers, and she feels that is fun. However, letting someone else own the 3 people she is traveling with is something she wouldn't like, so she decides to give him the box instead and asks if he could carry it. He increases his strength to carry it, but immediately it touches his head. He feels weak and eventually faints. She reveals she placed hallucinogens on the box. Although it didn't affect Toto, the others had figured it out, and now they are conscious. She says she would never allow anyone to take the party from her because they are hers to play with. She has fun with the bandit boy that night, and in the morning, she wakes the others. Toto feels bad for sleeping all night without changing shifts with Goa. If only he knew Goa had her own fun with a boy behind the tree. She tells him not to worry, and they proceed on the trip. She tells them that after the forest, they will reach a city where they can rest. Toto's stomach growls, and Ciel notices it. Unfortunately, they no longer have enough meals. Goa suggests stopping to get fish, but complains that she kept watch alone and is too tired. Anemone also reminds them she is a priest and can't kill livestock, leaving only Ciel and Toto to hunt. Ciel hates the idea but has no choice, so she goes to the river with Toto. She sings under her breath, making Toto wonder if it is fun for her, but she says no. Although the trip is fun, she will never forget her mission, to kill the hero. She is bored of sitting there without catching fish. It is no longer exciting or fun, although she thought it would be initially. Toto realizes her issue is that they aren't catching anything, so he decides to enter the river himself. When he suggests it, she accepts, as it gives her an opportunity to cast gravity magic on him, to make him sink and die. She lies that making him heavier will make it easier to swim, and he accepts. He goes to remove his shirt and jumps into the river. She casts gravity magic on him, but is shocked that he still moves fast and easily. He sees something in the river that he calls a fish and catches it. When he brings it out, she realizes it is actually a monster and not an edible fish. When river monsters are on land, they release poison, and the monster is about to do so. She throws it back into the river, although it drops some black powder on Toto. Seeing the powder on him, she laughs and offers to jump into the river instead. She jumps, and he follows. They playfully catch fish. As they play, she reminds herself that their party is filled with enemies, and they will soon part ways, so she should have fun while it lasts. They return to smoke the fish, and the others comment on how they missed eating fish. They realize she has never eaten one before and offer her one. She recalls why she never ate such things before. It was because she was trained as a princess. She only ate refined foods, and they even warned her not to eat with her mouth open or make noises, as it was improper. Now that she is out of that world, she plans to break all rules, so she eats the fish with her mouth open, making noises. The next day, they arrive at Ani. Goa offers to deliver the box with Toto and asks Ciel and Anemone to shop in the city. They wonder why she wants them to shop for clothes, knowing she is cunning, but she tells them the town is known for great wares. Anemone's target isn't clothes, so she goes smoking. Goa delivers the box and gets the money. The store owner appreciates them for taking the quest, admitting that others rejected it because of its size. She reveals they order such things from a neighboring village, but don't know why that village has been unreachable lately. During their break, Ciel reminds Anemone it is her turn to try killing Toto and asks if she will take the shot. But Anemone says no, she wants to enjoy the moment first. Ciel offers to take the shot, but Anemone thinks it is all bluff. However, Ciel insists she has planned new ways to succeed in her mission and will win. Regardless, they agree they should get the mission done as soon as possible. Anemone teases that killing just one person shouldn't take a year of planning. It's only because Ciel isn't serious. This makes Ciel's mind boil. She threatens to kill Anemone too, but Anemone doesn't believe her. After their smoke break, they head to the clothing store and meet Toto and Goa there. Goa wonders why they are late, and they lie that they stopped at a cafe to strategize. Before continuing, Anemone expresses anger at Toto. Even before she says why, Toto apologizes, a manly trait. She complains that no matter what she wears, Toto always faints, so she wants him to pick an outfit she can wear without him fainting. Toto shops for her, and the first clothes he picks cover even her face. She isn't comfortable in them, although Ciel loves the outfit. Anemone refuses it and tries another, an assassin outfit that covers her completely. But Toto faints as soon as she smiles. Ciel offers to help and picks a teddy outfit for her. Excited to see Anemone wear it, Ciel is disappointed when she doesn't like it and removes the cap. Ciel also picks a teddy outfit for Goa, which she doesn't like either, but Ciel suggests they could all dress that way and go to the park. They dress up, and Toto likes it, but the others complain they can't journey like that. Anemone changes into a suit-like outfit, but when she removes her glasses and smiles, Toto faints again. They realize there's no point, so they return to their old outfits and proceed. On the way, Toto vows to avoid fainting, but they tell him that won't help them. They need him to faint, making him wonder how women can ever be satisfied. For their next trip, they are visiting Defuri, the town the store owner mentioned, to see what is happening. When they reach the gate of the fortress town, they are shocked. The town has been turned into one of love and peace. What the hell is happening? According to Goa, this town is famous for its weapons made by the blacksmiths living here. But the problem is, the gate guard only allows couples or people full of love to enter this town. Ciel would rather die than enter this cringy town, and Anemone agrees with Ciel, also voting that they skip this town entirely from their expeditions. Goa, however, is interested, as she's all about love and, torture. She asks for Toto's opinion, and when he doesn't say anything against visiting this town, Goa decides to abandon Ciel and Anemone, and only brings Toto along with her. She claims to the guard that she and Toto are a couple, and the oblivious guard, not knowing the two are lying, allows them to enter the town of love and peace. Upon entering the town, the only thing that can be seen are young couples who clearly have one goal in mind: explore each other's treasures. Goa states that she had come to this town in the past once, but at that time it wasn't filled with so many couples. They hear a commotion ahead, and upon paying attention to it, they find two guards pressing a guy and imprisoning him in the dungeons. The guy defends himself, saying he was only passing through this town, But it doesn't matter to the guards because the only rule of this town that you have to follow is that you must display love at all times. So they proceed to take him away, declaring that he will be imprisoned in the dungeon for life for breaking this sacred rule. Toto finds this behavior very strange, and as he glares at the guards, they notice it and interrogate him, asking if he has enough love in him. To avoid getting imprisoned by offending the guards, Goa hugs Toto, claiming that they are lovey-doveys and have just gotten married. Toto, on the other hand, bites his lips to stay awake until the guard leaves, and Goa commends him for managing to resist getting knocked out. Toto wipes his face before turning to Goa and telling her that he will protect her from any danger, and hearing that puts a smile on Goa's face. She wonders what they should do now and plans to visit the Adventurers Guild next to learn more about the weirdness of this town. But what they don't know is that a cloaked kid is around a corner, eavesdropping on their conversation, and most likely up to no good. Anyway, when the two arrive at the Adventurers Guild, the eccentric receptionist welcomes them, and not only she but all of the adventurers here are all about love and smooches as well. In any case, Goa asks the receptionist if there has been something weird going on recently, and the receptionist, in response, claims that nothing's been out of the ordinary at all. Goa then inquires about guild commission, and the receptionist, acting like a total NPC, says no one here does guild commissions as none of them are required to leave this town anymore. Goa asks the receptionist to explain, so the receptionist elaborates, stating that this town is already filled with love and peace, and so it needs nothing else. Judging from her expression though, she looks like she's been bewitched, and both Toto and Goa also notice that something's just not right with these whack jobs' facial expressions. They come back to the center of the town, and after looking around for a couple of minutes, Goa figures out that the people here have fallen under mass hypnosis. The only reason she managed to deduce that is because she herself has a similar skill, but she doesn't bother sharing that detail with Toto. Toto wonders what the objective of the culprit is, and Goa suspects that the culprit might be a monster that took control of this town by placing everyone here under mass hypnosis. As to what its end goal might be, can only be figured out if they investigate further, so they both get into detective mode and decide to investigate this town together. The kid from before, eavesdropping on their conversation once again, confirms that these two haven't been hypnotized. He tells them that he wants to discuss this topic with them, but first brings them inside an abandoned house so that no one can hear them. Confirming that no one can hear them, the kid first introduces himself as Tim, before begging the hero and his companion to save this town. The kid explains that a few weeks ago, a new minister took over the castle, and ever since then, the people of this town started to act weirdly. The ones who acted normally were sent to the dungeons by the guards, and the kid's parents were imprisoned as well. The kid once again begs the hero to save them, mentioning that he doesn't have anything to offer in return. But he doesn't need to because Toto is going to save everyone anyway, as that is what his job is as a hero. After assuring the kid that he will save the people of this town, Toto and Goa head out of the town, informing Anemone and Ciel about the situation. Ciel refuses to help as they are not interested in doing charity work, but Anemone joins Toto, feeling sad for the kid, and with Toto encouraging her to tag along with them, she agrees. With all of them finally in, they must first come up with a solid plan to invade the castle and defeat the evil minister. Goa proposes that they split into two groups, and by playing rock, paper, scissors, Anemone gets paired up with Toto this time, and they are tasked with invading the castle. She then enters the town with him, claiming to be newlyweds to the brain-dead guard who heard an hour ago that Toto was married to Goa. Goa and Ciel enter the town together next, and pretend to be overly touchy sisters who are definitely in love with each other, so the guards allow them to enter as well. They all enter the city with the plan to find the new minister and break the spell. Anemone follows Toto, while Goa and Ciel remain with Tim. As they explore, Anemone voices her concerns about how the city looks like everyone there is normal, but on a closer look, if not for the fact that they are hypnotized, no one would notice. She wonders what could be happening and considers whether they might also be affected. Suddenly, a few villagers come to meet them and offer them a love drink. Taking a drink in a place like that would certainly be a recipe for disaster, so they refuse.
However, the villagers' expressions change against them, and they accuse them of not being in love, knowing they would be arrested if it is discovered they aren't lovers. Toto quickly holds Anemone and tells them they are newlyweds, but had just eaten. He excuses them after the villagers release them. When they get to a hideout, he apologizes to Anemone for holding her, but she knows he did it only to save them. She notices he is bleeding, and he reveals he is trying to injure himself so he won't faint. She offers to heal him, but before she finishes, they meet two other villagers who claim that since they aren't hungry, they should do the love exercise and love games. They have no excuse to refuse, so they reluctantly agree. They go and do the exercises until they can eventually escape from that place. By the time they reach the castle, Toto looks visibly hurt and tired. Anemone comments that he didn't even look that washed up in the dungeon, and that the city is indeed taking a toll on him. They meet the guard of the castle and ask to enter. The guard confirms that they are in love and simply allows them in. That seems like a trap because a place like that should have great security. They are suspicious, but Anemone consoles herself that it might be to make their work easier. Meanwhile, Tim is worried about the hero, but Goa tells him that Toto is strong. They notice CL is busy with something, and when they ask her what she is doing, she reveals she is concentrating her power for clairvoyance. She explains that with great power, she can check places at a far distance. They wonder if she can see inside the castle, and she says yes. They go closer to her so they can check, but as she tries to zoom inside the castle, the magic shuts her out. That seems strange, but it confirms her claim that the place is covered with a high-level secret magic blocking her view. Inside the castle, Toto and Anemone are confronted with empty rooms. Anemone suggests they split up to check, but Toto refuses, claiming it's best they stick together. They keep checking, but no one is there. Anemone wonders why the castle is empty and considers that the hypnotizing power in that place could be stronger than the rest. She is proven right when she suddenly gets hypnotized and moves toward Toto, asking him if he has love. He realizes she has been hypnotized and tries to call her attention back. He holds her to break it off, reminding her that they are there to save the city and she can't get hypnotized. However, she gets angry that he has no love in him and begins attacking him, hitting him repeatedly. But he doesn't fight back. He opens his arms in an embrace, telling her that he will capture her and take her out of the castle so Goa can save her. She grows angrier when he mentions another woman around her. He doesn't know how to reach her, and to make matters worse, the guards arrive and ask why they are fighting in the Castle of Love, accusing them of not having enough love. He needs to save Anemone without injuring her, so he surrenders to the soldiers. He admits that his love is insufficient and that she is angry with him, so he will go into the dungeon to repent. He gets arrested, and she happily tells him to find her when he gains more love. In prison, he meets other people who look normal. One of them asks if he is a traveler and wonders what the stupid love talk is all about. He realizes Tim's parents might be there and asks for them. They reveal themselves, and he happily tells them Tim is fine and is a hero. He reassures them that he promised Tim he would safeguard them so they don't have to worry. The prisoners ask about his plan since he is also cuffed, but he uncuffs himself, and they grow optimistic that they can survive. He wants to admit that he doesn't know the strategy he'll use to help them, but seeing how much hope they place on him, he keeps quiet. Meanwhile, Anemone meets the minister. She tells him she is proud to be in love, and even reveals that her co-travelers are around but don't have love. On the other hand, CL keeps trying to check the castle, but sees that nothing serious is happening outside. Goa remains concerned about the hero and Anemone, but CL reminds her their mission is to protect Tim. She doesn't even care if they get hypnotized. In fact, she wants them to be affected. Suddenly, she sees someone on the castle balcony. She zooms in and realizes it is Anemone. Anemone holds a gun and tries to shoot them for not having love. When did love become a recipe for survival? Will the hero save his team? I think Anemone is just pretending to penetrate the city, but fingers crossed.